All right, moving on. The men featured in HBO's explosive new documentary, Leaving Neverland, say they expect backlash after it airs Sunday. In the film, Wade Robson and James Safechuck claim Michael Jackson sexually abused them for years. Jackson repeatedly denied similar allegations before his death in 2009. Earlier this week, the accusers told Gayle King the film is not part of a vendetta. Here is more from her interview, which you are seeing only on CBS This Morning.
He wanted to spend all of his time with me. Out of all the kids in the world, he chose me.
He would call you his best friend?
Yeah.
Did you feel like the best friend too, James?
Oh, for sure. It was very much you and him sort of against the world.
Before I sat down with you, I talked to a child therapist who specializes in abuse of children. And she said, kids your age don't know that it's abuse.
There were two kind of phases I see that when you're young, it is this sort of loving, tender relationship and activity. And then when I kind of got into puberty, when he started introducing pornography, and then he started introducing alcohol, the tone changes a bit.
When you hear a Michael Jackson song, you think what, or you do? Is it a trigger for you?
A lot of times if I'm in a restaurant, I'll be tapping along to the song, or I'll be singing the melody, and then I'll realize what I'm doing, and it kind of takes over my whole body, and I have to leave.
You know, he settled a case in 1993, and then he went to trial in 2005. And Wade, you got on the stand and you testified in his behalf and vehemently denied that any sexual activity had taken place.
Yes. I knew I was lying. I knew that I had to lie when I was 11 first. You know, I felt I had no other choice.
And at 22, what was your
And at
reasoning?
22, you know, it's so complicated, but it's a combination of still lots of fear wrapped up with shame. My whole life, my whole career would fall apart.
And then wrapped up in shame.
He always made me believe that I wanted everything that we did sexually just as much, if not more, than him.
Right.
I was 7 years old.
And what is your expectation of people's reaction to this documentary? Are you worried? Are you afraid? Are you relieved?
I think it's all of the above. I expect people not to believe. There's a lot of threats that are thrown my way from what seems like angry MJ fans.
I knew there'd be hate coming towards us, so I was expecting that. My goal was to connect with other abuse survivors, so I just tried to focus on that.
The other thing about the documentary, the criticism I've heard is that it's just one side. It's just the story of Wade and James. And aren't there two sides to every story?
I think we know what their side is, though. They've been very vocal about it. They say it's all about the money.
The family of the lawyers.
Right.
They said that you all are just out and out lying and that you're opportunists.
For me, and I believe for James as well, I mean, this is not sort of like any vendetta piece. And of course, it's not good for Michael's name or legacy. But this is the truth of what happened.
So difficult to hear what they recall from their childhoods. And Gayle asked some really strong questions for both them and the Jackson family. Now, Robson and Safechuck both sued the Jackson estate. Their lawsuits were dismissed on a technicality. They are now appealing that decision. Leaving Neverland airs Sunday, March 3rd and Monday, March 4th on HBO.